Voltaire or David Hume. They don't need Abraham Lincoln. They don't need Winston Churchill. They want to attack all of these people.
How do they need
don't
Marx?
Like them.
Because they need the veneer of communism to justify the revenge?
They need that.
Why do they need
forward.
Marx?
They need communism going forward. They need the Marxism going forward. They know that's going to be useful to them. Whereas, by comparison, the history of the West is not useful to them because they want to pull that down.
Right.
They want to take away all of that. That's why they take away our heroes. That's why I can't stress enough. One of the first manifestations of the war in the West is the war on all of our heroes, all the people we were brought up to look up to, all the people we should look up to, all the remarkable men and women who made our society and our civilization.
Wait, Douglas, tell me if you disagree with this. So the need of the anti-racist for the communist hero and the communist ideology isn't necessarily because they are devout communist. We know Patrisse Cullors, the founder of BLM, or the head of BLM in the United States of America, was using BLM funds to buy mansions. She's not a very devoted communist.
She could be a communist. She's not a very devout one, I think.
Okay, well, which only makes her, right, Douglas, a really good communist, because that's the history of communism in implementation throughout the world. So in other words, communism becomes the necessary vehicle because all it's ever really been is not a utopic egalitarian society. All communism has been is a different way to distribute power, one that is based upon force and belonging to the party. And in this case, the anti-racism movement is the party and communism is the vehicle for power.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Also, I should just stress, again, on the point you just importantly made, not everyone who's doing this knows they're being a communist. Look at the left in the last 50 years in America or anywhere in the West. Look at the critiques of America and the West in the last 50 years. Whenever you ask any anti-American, well, where is it working? I mean, they always noticed they always had the same crappy fallback options. They said things like, well, have you seen the healthcare system in Cuba? Yes. Or have you seen the educational achievements in Venezuela? You could always tell from the places they thought were good what they actually wanted to happen here. In the same way, and we'd recognize that anywhere. I mean, you've seen these recent ridiculous attacks on Elon Musk for having the crime of having been born and brought up in apartheid South Africa, and despite his parents being anti-apartheid people, he's been attacked for this. But imagine if every time somebody said to Elon Musk, for want of a better example, whenever he made a critique of America, let's say he did, and if somebody said, well, where do you think, this has worked? If he said, well, it was really good in apartheid South Africa, you'd go, something funny going on here. Well, something funny going on here with the leftists who always admire the societies that tried the rubbishy, disastrous Marxist experiment and still look to them today. They almost never say that we should improve ourselves by looking to another capitalist society. Almost never.
All right. Well, War on the West, How to Prevail in an Age of Unreason by Douglas Murray. Go check the book out. Douglas, I always love talking to you, and I really appreciate you giving me so much of your time today.
No, it's been a great pleasure, Will. Thank you, and thank you to all of your listeners. I can't wait to hear back from your viewers and listeners as well. That's part of the joy of this book, is knowing that I'm giving the weapons, the ammunition to people to fight back in a culture war, to know what to say, to know the reasons, to know the arguments, to see what they're up against, and to win in pushing this back. And one of the best things, if I can say so, since the book has come out, a terrific reception, is the number of American parents and others who've said to me in the street and by email and my message and elsewhere, you've given me the tools I need to argue with my kids.
No. I think that's hopeful. I hope
and sometimes the kids say, you've given me the arms and the tools I need to argue with my parents or my professors, and that's just as good.
There's the hope.